DJ Premier has opened a digital record store, um, which I think is really cool. And the reason I say I would buy from there before I buy from Amazon and Urban Outfitters is because, buying black is important to me. So I just think this is really cool. Apparently, he's a huge collector. He's someone who has a great affinity um, for records, for vinyls. So I think some of it is his collection, part of his collection. And I just think this is really dope, especially when there's this huge resurgence of record playing happening right now. I've been looking at record players lately because I am
Mm.
considering buying one for, Hardly Headquarters. So um I think it's super cool. I think it's great that this is something that he's doing and he's kind of sharing his passion with us. And why not? I think yeah, you buy it online from Amazon, but like I like the idea of having this whole experience. Also, going to the record store is just a cool experience. So if someone can create that feeling virtually, why not? You know,
Right.
and I think that's what he's trying to do. So
Yeah, I think it's great. I also think the selection at Premier's Records shop is probably going to be a lot more interesting
hmm
and a lot more appealing to those of us who follow him
hmm
than going to Urban Outfitters, right?
of
I
course.
think, no knock to them, but
Mm-mm.
I just think, Premiere is going to have more of what we want to hear. And even like, I think his surprises, things that you don't expect him to have, will
Yeah.
probably be something that you want to hear as opposed to Urban Outfitters that kind of has generic stuff.
And I said Amazon too. I think Urban is just an accessible like brick and mortar place to go to. Um, which I mean, we live in the New York, New Jersey area, right? So um there's record stores. You can find record
Yes.
stores if you look for them. They're around. It's just one of those places that will sell like the top 40 stuff, I guess. So it's convenient, but not necessarily where I want to go to buy records.
Yes. Yes, I understand completely.
Yeah.
And I think also like, it's cool that you have the spots that have those generic type of top 40, top 40
hmm
hits or top 40 albums, whatever. But I think there's a different level of the shopping experience when it comes to being in a spot that really curates an experience and that really cares about what they carry. Like, I know someone who owns a record store, and when I go to his record store, I can tell he's not trying to get any of the top 40 stuff. It's like his whole thing is like records are vintage. We want to carry stuff that's vintage and stuff that's worth buying. And so he jokes all the time online. Like, people always ask, "Hey, you got the new Taylor Swift on vinyl?" And he's like, "No, this store will never have Taylor Swift on vinyl. Like, we're not here to give you the albums of today. This store exists to give you the albums of yesteryear."
hmm
So he takes pride when he's got like a random old school find. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, he posted something from Space Jam one day. It was like just a single that was on Space Jam. And I was like, how did that even happen? Like, that is interesting. Like, when you walk in a record store and see something like that, it's like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he had like an Easy E single at one point and was like, I don't know how long this is gonna be here, but this arrived today. And I was like, son, now that is fly.
And it's a place you can get lost in. Anytime I go to a record store, I mean, maybe this is just the music lover in me. I don't know. But to me, I go to a record store and I could be there for hours just looking through the racks and, oh my
Right.
gosh, you have this. And oh my gosh, you have that. And yeah, it's a different experience when it's all like new music. You're probably not going to have that same experience. The reality of the new vinyl conversation is that the newer generations are now experiencing record playing. And so, like, someone like my niece who is 12 going on 13 is like, I want the new Ariana Grande record, or I want the Taylor Swift album on vinyl. Like, she thinks it's so cool, record players right now, that she could get, you know, her favorite artist, whoever those people may be. She could get a record and pop it in, and it's like a whole experience. And I think the growth of TikTok also has like ritualized a lot of things. Um, so record player playing is one of them. Like, you see people do like their Sunday resets, and it's a whole thing. I light my candles. I turn on my record player. Pull the record um out of the jacket, pop it on the record player, turn it on. It's like a whole thing now. It's like a whole culture that is being created around vinyls. So I think it's cool. However you want to do it, I think is okay. I like that he's creating a virtual option that is more curated. It's not the Amazon experience, where Amazon is very cold in the sense that you go there, you find what you want, you put it in your cart, and you check out. There's no real experience to it. It's solely transactional. Whereas when you go to a space like DJ Premiere site, you're gonna be able to like really experience music there. You're gonna
Right.
be able to look through it the same way you would flip through the crates in the record store. It's gonna feel more like you're having an experience, rather than that kind of cold, just transactional experience. And I think that's what people want. I think people who like records and like to play records, I think that's what they want. They want to have this. They want to attach that emotion to it, that feeling that you get,
Right.
the excitement that you get looking through the records or pulling out the
Yeah.
record or playing it or whatever. People want that. So very cool.
And even not being on his website yet or not shopping there yet, my assumption is that he's going to create an online experience, and even just browsing through that collection is going to be a nice feeling, something that you feel is more rewarding than scrolling through Amazon.
Right. Right. So I love that. I mean, and also just yeah, do go to more traditional record stores if you can find them. I know they're not as common as they used to be, but I think that while we're in this period right now where um, the people of yesteryear are kind of looking to do that, and the people of tomorrow are also interested in it. I think it's a good time to find like really cool record stores. I know that in New York,
Mhm.
even just the record playing experience has kind of become a part of New York nightlife as well. So I would encourage anybody who's watching or anybody who's listening to go find a local record store and support it, because if that's something you're into, because they're out there, you just gotta look for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you need one in Ridgewood, there's a place called Deep Cut Records. Go check them out.
I need to check that out.
Yes, they got some cool stuff. That's my boy Brandon's store. Shout out to Brandon.